mattress and pulled the duvet up. Always. It was Angela who found Mummy's body. She had woken at 3:20 with a post-alcohol thirst that needed at least a pint of water. In the dark, she had padded barefoot and silent to the top of the stairs and noted a line of light under her aunt's bedroom door. She thought vaguely that Mummy was probably engaged in her usual nightly routine of makeup removal and meditation, so she decided not to disturb her. Her fingers carefully held the smoothly worn stair rail as she counted the 16 treads down to the hallway. She and Robert had been in the vicarage only 6 months, but Angela knew by now most of its foibles and peculiarities. The sticky window in her office, the back door that needed an encouraging kick after rain, and the creaking 3rd and 5th treads. At this hour, all was still and silent. The now familiar warmth of the house wrapped itself around her. The smell of garlic roast lamb and sherry still hung in the air, and something else. She stopped for a moment and sniffed. Ah, yes, Mummy's perfume, Shalimar. Angela was surprised that it could override even last night's cooking smells, but there it was, the very essence of her aunt. She reached the bottom step, and her naked toes felt the familiar texture of the Indian rug covering the oak floor of the hall. Confidently, she let go of the wooden sphere on the end of the newel post and turned left into the darkness, heading towards the kitchen. It was then that her foot felt something unusual. Soft, fleshy. Her skin began to prickle. "Mr. Worthington, is that you, boy?" She knew it wasn't the dog. She stood stock still and held her breath, but there was no answering thump of a wagging tail or whiskery nose sniffing her leg. Fear crawled from her stomach, through her bowels and down her legs. She began to shake. She was breathing faster and recognized panic. What should she do? Scared to progress further and tread on anything else that might be lying in the dark, but knowing she had to, she reached her foot forwards, feeling for anything else. What was that? She drew her foot back quickly. "Oh, dear Lord," she whispered, and took 2 quick hops to where she hoped the light switch was. In the sudden, glaring light, she saw her beloved aunt's body. "Robert! Robert!" Robert was dreaming of Venice, sitting in the sun under the shade of a bougainvillea and having lunch alone, watching the beautiful women walk by. Where was Angela? He couldn't remember why she wasn't with him, but never mind. He could sit here without guilt. Of course, Angela would be very cross if she caught him, but it was innocent fun. Then he heard her, upset, angry. Her voice was coming in distressing sobs. "Robert! Oh, dear God! Robert! Robert! Robert!" The vision faded, and he sat up in bed, ready to apologise. It had only been lunch, nothing more. Angela would understand. But Angela's side of the bed was empty. He ran his hands through his thick, dark hair and heard her shout again, "Robert, it's Auntie Mammy! She's fallen!" A dose of adrenaline hit him, and he leapt out of bed. 6'2", muscular and naked, he sped onto the landing and looked over the banisters. His wife had one hand to her mouth, while the other clutched her nightdress to her heart. He saw the body on the rug, twisted awkwardly, her eyes half open, a bruise spreading on her temple. He knew she was dead. He took the stairs 2 at a time. Stepping round the grim scene, he reached Angela and pulled her to his strong, naked chest. "Darling, don't look. Make some tea. I'll call the police." "She needs an ambulance." Angela pushed her way out of Robert's arms. She stepped carefully over Mummy's feet and went to the phone on the hall table. "Check her breathing, Robert, and fetch a blanket. She'll get cold." Robert dashed for the blanket from the back of the sofa, then knelt and checked Mummy's pulse. Nothing. He bent his ear to her nose. She wasn't breathing. "Ambulance, please." Angela's voice broke as the emergency operator asked for details. Robert placed Mummy's lifeless arm gently on her chest and stood.